Dennis and Mike. Dennis is a diesel engine who likes to be with his yellow tender engine friend called Molly. Dennis and Molly like one another really much, and Dennis is a diesel engine, but he still has many things to learn. One day the Fat Controller came to see him and said, "Dennis, you and Mike are going to take the passengers to Farmer Trotter's windmill at tea time," he said. "But Mike's just a fusspot," said Dennis. "I don't think so," said the Fat Controller, and walked away. Mike was just in time. "Come on, Dennis," he said. "Well, okay," said Dennis. He was coupled to Mike and puffed away. "Let's get ready for the trip," said Dennis. "I might not know what to do," as he steamed along. They raced past by Skarloey, and with that, Dennis, still fussing, had enough of being bored. "Fusspot, fusspot," said Mike. "Fuddy-duddy, fuddy-duddy," shouted Dennis. But while they were having a swift time, they were ready for what is still going to happen. And they really don't know what's going to happen about now. They were finally there at Action Canyon, and there they were inside the tunnels. And with that, Dennis didn't like it. He was really scared and was wanting to go and was wanting to get out. The tunnels were making him feel less scared. "I want to get out, I want to get out," said Dennis, but it was too dark and too misty. Dennis and Mike did not like this. Mike himself pushed Dennis out of the misty tunnels of the Grand Canyon, when suddenly something was happening. Something was happening, and it was making the bridge less dangerous and shaky. Dennis the Diesel came off the rails and derailed, and he started shaking and shaking. Mike was trying his best to pull him. "Stop shaking," said Mike. "I can't," said Dennis, and with that he was scared. Mike himself had run out of water, so his driver had an idea. "Water, water," they said. "Mike needs water quickly," and they all came in. Mike has finally got the energy to save his friend, and at last Dennis was back on the rails. The villagers were finally there to Farmer Trotter's windmill, and at last the villagers were finally there at Farmer Trotter's beautiful red windmill. And they were. Finally, the passengers got out of the coaches and then down the Grand Canyon and then to Farmer Trotter's windmill. I'm sorry I was being cheeky to you," said Dennis. "It's all right," said Mike, and the two engines were glad to be friends, and they were finally friends, and they were finally once again friends, and the passengers were having great fun. Looking at the windmill and the beautiful trees. Da, da, da.